And that's a problem because the worst aspect of the Flash movie is the Flash himself. Specifically, Ezra
Yes.
Miller's take on the
Oh
Flash.
God.
Basically, he's
Yes,
just as
bro.
hyperactive, verbose, and gratingly irritating as he was in
It-
Justice League, always trying
yes.
too hard to be funny, trying too hard to be likable.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. I am the one true Magoo, and I appreciate you guys for clicking on my video. Whole bunch of YouTube videos out there, and you chose to click on mine. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to be reacting to the Critical Drinker and his review of The Flash. And he says it's a hot mess. I watched the movie, and like, I've always had a thing against Ezra Miller's Flash. Before he even went on the GTA 5 insane crime spree, before any of that, I just never liked the casting. I don't think he embodies the character of the Flash well. I don't think he does. I think his acting in the character was like cringe. It was a little bit better in the Snyder cut, but still not just, he's just not it for the role. I just don't think he's the guy. I never did. The Flash was my favorite superhero until his DC incarnation, and then the CW show was trash, and like Flash was just getting so much garbage that he just fell off for me. Now he's like my second favorite superhero now. Because they're not treating the character right. Like, I want the treatment that he was getting when the Flashpoint movie, the animated movie back in 2013, the first couple seasons of the CW show, that was good. But then, you know, the Snyderverse Flash was just garbage, and the CW show fell off like season 4, like it fell off immediately. It was good for like a couple years, fell off instantaneously. So yeah, the character just didn't have much going for him, you know, and it's unfortunate. And this movie, I watched it, and it doesn't really, as like a Flash movie, as a Barry Allen movie, I don't feel like I got anywhere close to what I wanted or what the character deserved. Especially like this is their version of the Flashpoint storyline, and this is probably the worst it's been done through comics, through the TV show, the animated movie. I think this might even be worse. Yeah, I'm probably gonna agree with the drinker more often than not in this video. And I'm gonna laugh with him a lot too, because the drinker is a funny guy and the man spits nothing but facts. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let the video play. I'm gonna not pause it too much. I already gave my 2 cents, so I'm not gonna pause it too much. That's my opinion on the movie without going into too great of detail, because y'all didn't come here to hear me talk. Y'all came to hear the drinker. So I'll react to him, and you know, let's laugh, let's have fun. And yeah, this movie was unfortunate.
Fate truly is a cruel mistress, dear viewer. No matter how much knowledge you have of what's coming, no matter how hard you try to warn people or change the course of events, certain things are simply inevitable. Like the Flash being a steaming pile of garbage that nobody wants to watch. I mean, to be fair, you didn't exactly have to be Mystic Meg to make that particular prediction. It was a film that had almost everything going against it. A lame duck movie from a dead cinematic universe at a time when the superhero genre is in decline anyway, relying on the played out trope of the multiverse to shoehorn in a bunch of meaningless
Yeah.
cameos that do nothing but remind us of better days long gone, and based around an
Yeah.
unpopular character played by an actor
Um,
with, personal issues.
we're only like 47 seconds in. See this? I just want to. I'm sorry for pausing this so fast. It's gonna be real quick. Okay, just bear with me. We're 47 seconds into this video. The drinker already spit like the most facts that you're ever gonna hear in your life, bro. And people wonder why you like this guy because the man just spit all kinds of facts. Unfortunately, today the superhero genre is in a major decline. It was like the golden age was like the Infinity Saga of the MCU. That was the golden age of the superhero genre, you know. Even if you don't like the MCU, because there are a lot of people who don't like the style of the MCU or whatever, but you can't deny that it was the golden age of superhero popularity and movies and everything. Now it's just become washed out, uninspired. Nobody cares. The people making the movies don't care. The fans that used to love them are trying to hold on, but like, just give me a reason to hold on, man. That's like, we're trying to hold on to this genre, but people are just the people making these movies. They don't. They. It's like they're almost determined to screw it up. It's like, I don't know, man. And yeah, the multiverse thing so played out. I know it's the first time that the DC is doing it, but Marvel's done it like in like 8 different projects in the last like 2 years. People are so sick of it. And Marvel, each time they do it, it's worse than the last. Like, stop doing this. Like, I'm not even gonna get into Marvel, man. But the drinker is spitting all kinds of facts, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pause it. I'm not gonna keep pausing. The man's just spitting facts. Okay, I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it play. Okay.
Hi, this is Ezra Miller, the Mad Goose Wizard.
What the fuck is that?
Nice one, Ezra. Never change. It all added up to a film with all the prospects of Peter Dinklage in the NBA, but here we are, 6 directors, $250 million, and God knows how many rewrites and reshoots later. But damn, man, even I didn't expect it to be this much of an overblown, chaotic, unfocused, visually disgusting mess. The Flash is basically 2 hours of creative diarrhea, a messy combination of good ideas, baffling cameos and deep references that casual fans won't even get, and absolute dogshit CGI splattered all across the screen. Anyway, grab your spandex running suit and let's do our best to make sense of this. So the movie opens with nobody's favourite superhero, Barry Allen, who's on his way to court for his against his life sentence for the murder of his wife. Unfortunately, Barry gets held up by an emergency where he has to save a bunch of fallen babies by throwing them into microwaves. And if that sounds like I've been on the toilet duck again, then yes, I have. But it's also a thing that actually happens in this movie, and yes, it is as dumb as it sounds. It's also a convenient excuse to shoehorn in a couple of cameos from Batman and Wonder Woman, and don't worry, if you like meaningless cameos that go nowhere, there's going to be plenty more on the way. Believe that. Anyway, Barry goes back to his childhood home to reminisce and then gets sad and ends up running so fast that he travels back in time. I mean, we've all done it, right? And this gives Barry a bit of an idea. What if he went back in time to the day of his mother's murder and changed things so that she never got killed? Bruce doesn't think this is a very good idea to go messing with the timeline because of every single time travel movie ever, but Barry's like, nah, it'll be fine. So back he goes and saves his mum. Job done, mission complete. Except it isn't, because now he finds himself in 2013, right before the events of Man of Steel, where he runs into a younger version himself that doesn't have his powers yet. And this is where you need to strap yourself in, dear viewer, because if you thought that one Ezra Miller on screen was more abrasive than Aquafina trying to rap...
Remember my song in the swamp when I was like, wham, chicka, wham, wham, chicka.
Well, all I can say is that the rest of the movie's gonna be a bit of a slog for you. Anyway, they're interrupted by the arrival of General Zod, who's on Earth looking for Superman. So the two Barrys decide they have to bring together the Justice League to fight him. The only problem is that they don't actually exist here. Cyborg is still just a college football player, Aquaman was apparently never born, and Wonder Woman is, on vacation or something? I don't fucking know because the script doesn't seem to know either. The only option left is Bruce. So they go to Wayne Manor to find him, except he's not the Bruce Wayne that they remember. And take note of this segment because it's one of the few parts of the movie that's actually pretty good. Anyway, so this is the Bruce Wayne from Batman 1989, who's since retired after basically solving all the crime in Gotham City. Nice one, Bruce. Anyway, the Barrys are able to persuade him to come out of retirement on the grounds that the entire world is about to end, and together they journey to Siberia where they recover Superman from the sealed prison that he's being held in. Except it's not Superman, it's Supergirl in this reality. Why? Don't know. So they take Supergirl out to the desert where General Zod's been fighting the world's military for what seems like weeks now. Doesn't seem like a very efficient use of your time, Zod, but whatever. But oh no, she gets killed by him, and so does Bruce. So the Barrys travel back to try and fix it, but no matter what they do, General Zod just keeps on winning. And then the younger Barry starts to go a bit nuts from all the time travel and turns into an evil old version of Flash before ultimately sacrificing himself to wipe out his own timeline. And other Barry finally comes to the realization that the only way to put things right is to undo his choice to save his mum from the start of the movie. So he does, and everything goes back to normal, more or less, and his dad wins the court case and they all live happily ever after. Except for the horrifying realization that George George Clooney is now Bruce Wayne again.
Never leave the cave without him.
You know, I've used the term Frankenstein's monster quite a bit to describe movies over the past few years, but honestly, it's tough to think of a more accurate metaphor for what The Flash is. It seems to have been assembled from the chunks of like a dozen other aborted scripts and half-baked ideas, awkwardly stitched together into something that vaguely resembles a story, and jolted into life in the hopes that it'll shamble around long enough to make back its massive budget. And if the opening box office is anything to go by, well, it won't. The first half is probably the more focused and coherent, but ironically it's the least enjoyable, mainly because it's centered entirely around Barry. Both of him. And that's a problem because the worst aspect of the Flash movie is the Flash himself. Specifically,
Yes.
Ezra Miller's take on the
Oh,
Flash.
God,
Basically,
yes,
he's just as hyperactive, verbose, and gratingly irritating as he was in Justice League.
Yes.
Always trying too hard to be funny, trying too hard to be likable, trying too hard to
Yes,
act,
bro.
and having
Yes.
two of him play
Yes. This is why I love the critical drinker, man. He's telling the truth, bro. No, like some people say, "Oh, he's fine as the Flash." The people who think that they aren't, in my opinion, I don't think most of them actually like care about the character because the Flash isn't really too much of anybody's favorite superhero. He just doesn't have much going for him these days. So he's not anybody's really favorite, you know? Like he's not really anybody's favorite. But to a few people who he is their favorite, like mine, or just people that have a lot of respect and love the character a lot, I don't think most of us like like Ezra Miller in the role of the Flash. Like because he's so stupid and his Ezra Miller sucks. That's all I gotta say about it. And that's without, because people, I know there's always, I can separate the character from the actor. I'm not even talking about his crime spree. I'm just talking about the actor in the role. He's not good, okay?
off each other just multiplies the problem exponentially. You can tell there's been a real concerted effort to rehabilitate Miller's public image in the weeks leading up to this film, with so many drooling articles all saying basically the same thing that you'd swear they'd been given talking points specifically by the studio. Ezra Miller has never gone Ezra Miller the way they do in The Flash. With sculpted dark
What?
eyebrows and insinuating lips, the actor is a mesmerizing camera subject, like the young Jimmy Fallon crossed with the young Bob Dylan. Jesus Christ, calm down a bit, mate. This is the journalistic equivalent of blowing
What?
him right in front of the entire world.
Sounds like you in
But
love
none of
with
that
the
can
man or
change
something.
what's actually up there on screen, and if your main character is the least likable part of your movie, well, you know you've got problems. As far as the other characters go, I can't say a whole lot about Supergirl because she's less of a character than a key item that has to be recovered to move the plot forwards. You never get a whole lot of insight into who she is because she arrives late to the party and doesn't get enough time to make an impression. And it's kind of a shame because the actress does a decent job and I wouldn't have minded seeing more of her, but she gets kind of lost in the chaotic, overstuffed mess that is the film's second hour. General Zod is a fucking weird choice of antagonist for a Flash movie, a character from a movie
Yeah.
10 years ago that has absolutely zero history or connection to Barry. It'd be like bringing back the Red Skull and having him fight Doctor Strange. I mean, in the hands of smarter writers, this probably could have been a chance to see a different side of him, explore aspects of his personality that we never got to see in Man of Steel, but instead he's basically just a cardboard cutout, saying and doing the same shit he did before, with no emotional impact because he doesn't even know or care who Barry is. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're fucking done with multiverses. It was an intriguing little idea like 4 or 5 years ago, but as we've learned from every other superhero movie that's been made on the subject, it's really just become an excuse to bring back old actors and dead characters and throw them into new situations because funny. But let's be real here, the only
Yeah,
reason that anyone was even interested in this film was to see Michael Keaton in the Batsuit again. And for
Exactly.
me, this was both the best and most disappointing aspect
Yeah,
of
like,
the
that's
movie.
all
On the
people
plus side,
wanna
Keaton's
see it
barely
for,
missed a
bro.
beat in 30 years and slipped right back into the role like he's been doing it his whole life. Modern VFX and stunt work allows him to move and fight in ways that he never could have back in the Tim Burton days, and seeing
Yep.
the Batmobile and Wayne Manor faithfully recreated definitely gets the nostalgia going. The problem is, beyond recycling a a few well-known lines, the movie doesn't seem to know what to actually do with him. His character's got no real arc or journey to go on, he doesn't learn or change in any way, and he's not around long enough to really connect with Barry as the paternal figure that I think they were going for. Also, this movie basically proves my point that Batman is not compatible with big Marvel-style battles against alien armies and giant sky beams. He's a crime fighter that's supposed to be leaping across rooftops and stalking the dark alleyways of Gotham, not taking on giant CGI monsters in the middle of the desert in broad daylight. It's such a cheap, shitty misuse of such an awesome character, and it pretty much exemplifies DC's biggest problem of pissing away every advantage in a desperate attempt.
One last thing. Yeah, I could see there like, and I think it's probably with the production issues and like he says, kind of like this Frankenstein situation. But like I saw a little bit of an arc that they were trying to do with him and Batman, but they didn't do it. But they pretended like they did it. Like I think everything just got lost in like the production issues. I think everything got lost in this hot mess of a production. I remember this movie was supposed to come out in 2019, then it got pushed back to like 2021, then it got pushed back to 2022, then it got pushed back to 2023. Like this movie has been probably 7 years in this production purgatory, and that never ends well for the film. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
To copy Marvel. People watch your movies precisely because you're not Marvel. Why don't you fucking see that? Oh yeah, and needless to say, the visuals look like absolute donkey shit, which is par for the course with movies these days. Probably because this film was getting rewritten and reshot right up until the final whistle, and the VFX artists had no idea what they were even supposed to be rendering. There's some
Yeah.
obnoxiously bad green screen that genuinely looks like it came from a Disney Plus show, and action set pieces that would have been cutting edge in the early 2000s but look weak as fuck today. Seriously, go back and rewatch the first Iron Man, a movie made 15 years ago with half the budget, and it'll look infinitely better than this. All of these problems smack of a script that's trying to do way too much, cramming too many ideas and characters, too much action, too much visual spectacle, and ends up tripping over its own feet in the process. A film so desperate to impress, saddled with so many expectations and so much studio interference that it's lost sight of what it's even trying to be or do. And all it actually ended up being was the very mess that we all predicted. Fate, like I said, is a cruel mistress. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, the drinker, he spit facts. That's all the man does for a living. He just writes and spits facts, factual statements, my guy. Oh man, that was so true, dude. The thing about the CGI, like, is it just me, or does CGI look better from like the early, from like movies from like the early to like late 2000s, early to 2010s? Don't those movies have like better CGI than movies as of recent years? Like look at like Transformers. Look at like the first three Transformers movies and compare that to like CGI these days. Like, am I crazy, or does it look worse now? Like I don't understand it. But yeah, bro spit so many facts, and the fact that there's rumors that James Gunn may even be considering keeping Ezra Miller as the Flash. The fact that there is even a slightest possibility of that, and Henry Cavill is gone, and Ben Affleck is gone, and my brain can't even process it, dude. They're killing the superhero genre of their own accord. They're doing it. The fans are telling you what to do, and you still can't get it right. Like, hey man, maybe just do this. Maybe just cast this guy. Maybe just do that. And they're just like, no, we're gonna make it worse. That sounds like a good idea. Let's make it all worse. Like, and that's what happens. That's what's been happening. I've seen it happen so many times for so long. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, um, even in video games too. It's like at this point, I'm just used to seeing my favorite characters, franchises, intellectual properties, my favorite of everything, just be destroyed. It happened to all the greats, man. Yeah, it's like the golden age is over for the superhero genre, and I don't think it. I think it's just downhill from here. It doesn't have to be, but like it's not that it can't be saved. It's that they won't. They won't. They just won't. They've proven that they won't. They will not do what it takes to save the genre and bring it back to that golden age. They won't do it. They just want Ezra Miller to be the Flash. They want Henry Cavill to not be Superman. They want to make a Blue Beetle movie as the first movie in your new cinematic universe. Blue Beetle. James Gunn his universe is gonna suck. I can tell you that right now. His first movie is Blue Beetle, dude. Out of all of the Justice League, out of all of the popular DC characters, you got the Teen Titans, you got even people would rather see Constantine or something. You're doing Blue Beetle, man. Out of everybody, you're making the same mistakes that the DCU made. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Do me a favor though, before we go, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I am the one true Magoo, and I'll see you in the next reaction. Peace.
But that's alright. Hush.